What's up, guys? Badger1 here. Had some free time today, so I thought I would make another quick tutorial video for your mission building help. I'm going to show you guys how to do set up a quick reaction force response team to a trigger when BLUFOR moves into an area. So let's say you've got your team on the ground, your players on the ground, and they reach an objective area. They think it's all cleared of enemies and you want them to have one last firefight before they get extracted, or there's a number of different scenarios where you can set this up and give them a last quick reaction force to have to fight to deal with. So I'm going to show you all how to do that with triggers and waypoints right quick. It's not that complicated to set up. Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to decide what your quick reaction force is going to be. I always use groups over here in OPFOR if I'm putting down an OPFOR team. Independents, of course, have their own groups, but let's just say let's do African Defense Force, and let's do a motorized infantry, and let's do motorized rifle squad. What is that? You know what, for simplicity's sake, let's just put down a single vehicle and tell it to come over here and attack this patrol. Let's do our Land Rover M2. Okay, so that's going to be our quick reaction force. Our BLUFOR team is going to come in over here on this side of the map. Let's just do a small group of guys here. Let's do an anti-armor team. So maybe if they're lucky and they're on their A game, they can take out this truck with a rocket shot. Okay, so you want to set it up so that when your BLUFOR team moves into a particular area, say they have to, you want them to secure these buildings, and they've done so, you want to have this truck approach either down this road or over the hills or whatever, and sort of catch your team off guard. But you don't want to need that to happen until your BLUFOR team actually gets here. So the easiest way to do that is to put down a trigger. We'll say a 100-meter trigger. And in the init of that trigger, or the setup of that trigger, you're going to do activation BLUFOR present, and that's all that needs. Okay. Now we're going to tell our BLUFOR team to move into this trigger area just with a simple move, and we'll tell them on their next waypoint that they just want to guard this area right here. Now you want your quick reaction force to respond to the fact that your BLUFOR team is in the area that they're supposed to be. So first thing you need to do from your truck here is you need to give it its first move waypoint. Just bring it out like that. You need to add a second move waypoint directly in front of it, and from here you can do pretty much anything you want. I could have them come down here to the end of this road. I could have them come here like this and then cut up across this way and out this way like so. It's really up to you as a mission maker to decide what path you want your QRF vehicle to take, but it does have to have a defined path in order for this setup to work. So several move waypoints. The two most important ones are these two right here, these two triggers or waypoints. It has to have one directly in front of the vehicle, and it has to have one immediately following it. Then from there you can do, I'll just leave it set on this path, with the last waypoint being, I'll have them come to right here. Let's say about, and I'm going to change their last waypoint to seek and destroy. So basically, when your BLUFOR team gets here, say they've killed a couple of OPFOR guys, maybe one of them got a radio call off to your team over here saying, we're being shot at, we're being overrun, we need some help. And they send this vehicle, is basically what it's going to look like to your team. So from here, you've got your trigger down. The trigger knows that when the BLUFOR team is in here, it's going to show to this OPFOR team over here that there's a BLUFOR team in it, and it's then at that point the truck is going to know, okay, we need to follow this path and come this direction. So you just right click on your trigger and do set waypoint activation, and you're going to come all the way back over here to your first waypoint that you laid down and sync it to that first waypoint. Now what's going to happen is this truck will stay parked in this spot until that BLUFOR team reaches this area. Will not move, won't try to relocate itself. It's basically kind of on standby. So let's go into spectate mode and we'll see if everything fires off like it's supposed to.
Be advised, support units are now on standby. Out.
That little message has nothing to do with this trigger setup. That's for something else I have set up on this map previously, so ignore that. Alright, so our BLUFOR team is moving into the little area that they're supposed to. They're going to reach this highway somewhere in here, but they've already crossed the trigger path. And here comes our truck. He should follow his waypoints. He's going to cut across this desert area, this open area right here. And he should come to right about this area, and he'll start opening fire on this BLUFOR team over here when he sees them. Maybe even sooner than that. There comes the truck. And they're already shooting at him. Hopefully he'll shoot back. And so the NATO team just eliminated the quick reaction force. You can make that quick reaction force be a series of vehicles. You can make it be a single truck full of guys. You can really put down anything you want to as far as your quick reaction force, as long as that entire group is set up on the waypoints like I showed you. So you could have multiple vehicles in this little convoy. In fact, let's add a second vehicle and see if that gives them a better chance here. Let's put down armored. Let's give them a BTR 60. And so you put this next to the vehicle, you can see that it's got the blue line. It's going to group it to this first truck so that when this Land Rover moves out, whatever vehicles are behind it that are grouped to it, they all should move together. Put that down there. And so now these two vehicles will follow this waypoint set together as a group. When this first truck launches off, this BTR 60 will follow it. So let's see if they have better luck this time. Quick little load up here.
Be advised, right. Support units are now on standby.
So here sits our OPFOR team. Our BLUFOR is making it over to our warehouse buildings like they're supposed to. Nothing has changed from the last little setup except that I grouped another vehicle to it. And see, now they're both moving together, somewhat together. Looks like the BTR is going to take the long way around, or not. Or he's going to be a bumbling idiot and not know how to drive his truck. Alright. Most of your editing, you will learn, is all about trial and error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the BTR that I just put down. I'm going to click on the driver. And I'm going to change his skill all the way up. Let's see if we can make him drive his vehicle better. Hopefully, he will follow the truck. If he does not, another option would be put the BTR in front. Put your faster vehicles behind, because whatever the slowest vehicle is in the group, all the rest of them will keep speed. So if this BTR 60 was in front, the Land Rover vehicle would have to follow behind him and watch what he does. So that would be another way to fix it, because this Land Rover is totally going to outrun this BTR. It'll just take off. It'll be all the way up here, and this guy will still be getting his engine moving back here this way. So, and you can dictate how fast the quick reaction force arrives by adjusting their travel time inside the waypoint. Remember, there's limited speed, there's normal speed, and then there's move at full speed. So if you want the quick reaction force to show up super quick, you can change that in the waypoint itself. And that way the force will either get there quicker or slower.
Support units are now on standby. Out.
So over here comes our BLUFOR team. I think that trigger radius is somewhere right out here if they cross. We'll know in just a second. Alright, there goes the first vehicle. Nope, that BTR is still wanting to take off across country. Or, you know, just drive in circles. See what I mean? Now he's following. And the BLUFOR team has already spotted the quick reaction force. Now, because the lead vehicle is down, I don't think this BTR knows exactly what he's supposed to do. He might just go and do something on his own here. He's going to make the turn. Nope. He's going to stay on the road, looks like. I'm going to continue to push out. He's thinking about it. He's looking for the team that took out his lead vehicle. That's what he's doing. He'll find him in a second. Yep. I don't know if the BLUFOR team still has any rockets left. Yep, he's siding up right now. You gonna take that shot or what? Anyway, you get the general idea. There goes the rocket. Bam. Good shot, William Morgan. So that's basically how the quick reaction force trigger works. It's really easy to set up. You might have to experiment a little bit based on what type of units you put down for your quick reaction force. You can also use air support as a quick reaction force. If you want to set this up so that it's a helicopter, an attack helicopter maybe, or a pair of fighter jets, you can do that. Keep in mind the obvious, you know, physicalities of those options. If you send jets, they're probably going to need a runway to take off from, unless you've already got them in the air. Helicopter pad, you're going to have the helicopter set someplace where it can take off from, unless it's already in the air. Those kind of things tend to give hints to your players that something is up. If they hear a helicopter hovering or something like that, they hear jets passing over or circling. So when I use air power as a quick reaction force, I usually have it set down on a runway someplace or parked on a helicopter pad, so that I can tell the crew to get in the helicopter using waypoints and then take off and come to this location. If you want to know how to do that, it's easy. It's just take away these vehicles here, and you know, I deleted the vehicles, and so the waypoints disappeared. But if you want it to be a helicopter instead, let's go down here and find a helicopter unit, probably under this here. We could do, let's just put down a hind, make it so that they can't see each other. Let's move him out of the way here. Alright, so we've got our hind. The pilots are already inside, so I'm not going to worry about putting the pilots out here. That's generally the way I set it up. I just go ahead and have the pilots inside and just put the waypoints on them. There's your first move, your second move. With aircraft, it's a little different. You'll want to, used to in Arma 2, you had to do a fly-in height, but you don't have to do that. Arma 3, just put your move waypoints. Use your Alt key. You can raise and lower the waypoint. It'll put a marker from the last waypoint up, and it'll also put a height marker from there to the ground, so you can kind of get up on your waypoint and see, okay, that's how high it's going to be. From here, you can do the other waypoint. Raise it up here. So it's going to look like he's going to fly from around this mountain. And then lastly, you can do the seek and destroy. Obviously, the seek and destroy, once this helicopter's in the air, he's not going to dive bomb himself into the ground to kill the BLUFOR team. He just knows that this is the area where BLUFOR is going to be present, and so this is the area he's going to be looking at to attack. Setting the waypoint is the same. Go to set waypoint activation, and you're going to put this on the first move waypoint you put the helicopter on. Set that there, and we'll watch through spectator and see what that looks like. Super easy. Adds a little bit of realism to your mission. And it doesn't have to be a quick reaction force. You can use the same trigger setup for, you know, when your guys pass a bridge and you want guys to come out of a building and catch them off guard somewhere. You can use it for ambushes.
Be advised, support units are now
all
on
different
standby.
types of options where this trigger setup could be beneficial. Okay, so here comes our BLUFOR team. They're going to be crossing over to the trigger, so let's get back on our helicopter so you can see what happens here. So right now it's just parked. They've entered the trigger. Helicopter's firing up its engines. It's going to raise up and start to hover, and then it's going to move to its first waypoint. It should be right over in here somewhere. There he goes. So he's going to come across this way, fly around the edge of the mountain, and then he's going to engage the BLUFOR team. So here he comes. See his track. He's following his waypoints. And then he's going to fly. Should see the BLUFOR team, and he should fire rockets, guns, or something on them. Sometimes it takes them a second to acquire targets. But he's seen them. He knows they're there. Looks like he's going to line up for a gun run. Or a rocket pass, maybe. But he does know that they're there. So he's going to do what helicopter attack pilots are trained to do. He's going to go out there and fly off a distance. He's going to get lined up on this target, and he's probably going to do a rocket pass, I would think. He's turning around. I literally have no idea what he's doing. Again, like I said, a lot of this is just fine-tuning. I could go back in here and adjust waypoints and stuff on the helicopter for a few minutes to make sure he does what I want him to do. Right now, he's just... I might want to raise that search and destroy waypoint up off the ground, maybe. I think maybe the pilot's confused as to what his objective is supposed to be. Because right now, he's just flying around in circles. I have no idea what the hell he's doing. Looks like he's headed back over to the combat zone now. The trigger area. Alright, well the BLUFOR team got some rounds off on this helicopter. I'm not sure yet if that's a good thing or a bad thing. He may turn around and decide to shoot back. He may just blow it off and go do something else. Looks like that's what he's going to do. Anyway, so yeah, I would go in and I would probably adjust the waypoints, the height on the search and destroy waypoint maybe, play around with it for a few minutes until I got it to do exactly what I wanted him to do. Another option might be change this to a move waypoint, have him fly here. Change this to a move. And then make him fly inside the trigger area at height and search and destroy. So that he might come here and then give him a little bit more time over target maybe. I don't know. But you could play with it and see. But you saw how the trigger worked. The BLUFOR team made it in the area, and that's when the helicopter decided to, you know, fire off his engines, and he took flight, followed this waypoint path and came around, and he flew to the you know, the trigger area. Definitely would give the guys on the ground an oh shit moment. Holy crap, we've got an attack helicopter coming in. And then he flew off, and he flew way out here over the river, way around. So the whole time they're hearing these rotor blades wanting to know, where did the chopper go? Is he coming back? What's the deal? Let's get out of here. Are we going to stand and fight? Still be a pretty good moment within a game to have that happen. So anyway, that's it for this video. Hope it was helpful. Till next time.